What's up, family? Welcome back to Women's of FA. Super excited that we are back together again. Guys, I don't know if you can tell, but my cheeks literally are burning because of what I'm about to share with you. Can you believe that after nearly 2 decades, you heard me right, after nearly 20 years, your girl here went back home?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Yes, I went back. I traveled to Africa. I did. And I'm so excited to share everything. So I'm about to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, literally no filter. So I hope you're ready right here on Moments of FA, where it's about love, life, and God. So I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start at all. So I'm going to start from the beginning because, they say if you don't know where to start, always start from the beginning, right? Exactly. But before I dive in, I'm going to need you guys to do something, okay? I'm going to need you guys to go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe. If you've been watching this channel for a minute or it's, popped up across, subscribe. Not only that, make sure you leave the notification button on so that way you don't miss any new videos whatsoever. Give this video a thumbs up. Browse through the channel. You'll find a lot of content just for you. So because I have a lot to share, guys, I spent a whole month, okay? So excuse me, I have a lot to share. So I don't know how long this video is going to be. So maybe I might, break it down into parts. Part 1, part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know. All I know is that I am leaving nothing on the table because I'm about to tell you everything, all right? Are you ready? All right. First of all, I know there are people here who may be watching me for the first time. Maybe, if you're on Facebook and you just like this page, welcome. Thank you so much. On YouTube, etc. So you may not know me as much. So I'm going to introduce myself and let you guys know a little background. And then I'm going to dive in and tell you all about my experience. Is that okay? Perfect. Well, my name is F.A. and I am from this amazing country called Sierra Leone. Now, all the Sierra Leoneans in the house, can I get a whoop whoop? Go ahead and put in the comment section by there. Let me know where you're from. I don't know about you guys, but whenever people ask me like, hey, where are you from, FA? Especially when they see my name, of course it's foreign. So they're like, where are you from? And I'm like, I'm from Africa. That generic answer. Sometimes I do give them a specific answer, but that generic one. Some people, they're satisfied with that. But other people are like, Africa, okay, what part of Africa you're from? Oh, I'm like, oh, I'm from Sierra Leone. They're like, where is that? I've never heard of it. And I'm like, oh, it's in West Africa. It's this tiny little country, beautiful, amazing country of 7 million people. And that's where I'm from. Like, oh, wow, that's nice. And you already know they're just like, they have no idea, which is fine because that's why I'm here. One of my goal is to make sure I bring my country out there for the good. they see the good parts of my country and not just the bad part. But I've noticed that a lot of times when you tell people, the Blood Diamond country, they're like, oh my God, I know that. Leonardo, he made a movie. I know that place. So I don't like to kind of say that because I don't want you to know my country based on a bad, experience. That's our history. We can't deny what happened, but that's the past. So that's my story. I don't know if about you, but that happens to me all the time. Now that you get the gist of it, can we dive into the juicy stuff? Yes. Like I told you, I'm about to tell you every single thing. Now, first thing I'm going to talk to you about is a lot of questions I always get. People always ask me, hey, F.A., when last did you go back home? And I'm like, oh, I haven't been back home since I came to the U.S. They're like, why? So I'm going to explain that real quick and then we can dive in, okay? Yo, make sure you subscribe because this video is definitely going to be split into different parts. So subscribe so you can, be notified. When my family and I first came to the U.S., we didn't really have anybody, I would say, to kind of rely on. We didn't really have a guide per se. The person that was meant to guide us was from Somalia and no offense, useless, okay? Completely useless. Like, did not help us. Useless. Let me just say that. And there's no other way for me to say it. Just complete useless. So we had to find out everything on our own. And at that time, we lived in this amazing community, which I believe was the foundation of who I am. And in that community I called it a melting pot because they had so many tribes. It had a lot of people from Africa, a lot of people from Asia. It was literally like I would call it an embassy, seriously, because we had so many, an airport, you would say, so many people there from different parts. And if you know what I'm about to tell you, you can relate. You know how sometimes as Africans, okay, we like to believe we know everything. Oh yeah, we're the Google of wherever we are, we're the dictionary of wherever we are. So as people who, the newly people in the neighborhood, we went around asking certain family friends that we met, that we interacted with. And one family member in particular, well, not family member, but a friend of the family, they were like, oh, when you first come to the U.S., you don't get to travel back home, this and this and this, there's nothing, you can't travel. So we didn't have any information at all. Like if I had known, I know for a fact my mom, we will be traveling as often as we possibly could. Until I think maybe like 10 years after in, when my mom started digging, just getting information. And finally, maybe before 10 years, but just to give you guys a number there, finally we learned that when you first come, because the thing is this, when you first come to the U.S., you don't immediately get your passport. Oh no, guys, you don't immediately like, oh, I'm here, let me travel wherever I want to go. No, you have to go through a process. And just a disclaimer, this video is not to give you guys any advice. It's not to tell you this is what's up. I'm just explaining to you my experience, okay? Perfect. So anyways, when you first come in, we get this thing called a permanent resident card. So what that means is that you're legal in the U.S. and stuff, so you can work, you can do many things, but you can't really get a passport. No, you can vote, you can't get a passport, you can't do certain things that are granted or certain things that are only for citizens, right? So one of those things is passport. Instead, what you have to do is apply for a travel document. And that's what we needed in order to travel, but we didn't know, guys. Seriously, my parents had no idea. And like I said, we had no guide, and the person that was assigned to us, completely useless, okay? I'm just gonna say that. And I was young, and I remember this guy, I'm just gonna let that case be, okay? So anyways, you have to get something called a travel document, and it looks like this. It looks like this, like a little blue thing, a travel document, and it says on it, travel documents, literally, issued by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. And I think it has like 24 pages, at least mine does. This was the last travel document I had before becoming a U.S. citizen. And mine lasted for a year. Yeah, so this is at least for 1 year. And it tells you everything, your citizenship type. It tells you your status, etc., etc. And on it, guys, I kid you not, let me hide my information here. On it, it says, this is not a United States passport. Like, they want you to know exactly this. So you have to have this to travel. It stands in, kind of like a gap for the passport. But then, like I said, we didn't know about this until a couple of years after we've been here, so we couldn't go home. Eventually, I became a citizen and so forth. So I said bye to this and hello to this. Finally got this, and that's when I started traveling. Now, I got this, a couple of years back, and at that time, I was already in high school, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm hungry. I want to go back. I'm hungry to go home. But we have this mentality in the African community that, oh, we can't go back home unless we have money, unless we make it, unless we do this and do that. And I understand, because let me tell you, when you go back home as someone who just came from the United States, everybody is going to come to you, and they're always expecting things, expecting money, expecting you to be this wealthy person. I heard the rumors when I was back home. Now, I don't know about you guys, those of you who are in, diaspora, abroad and whatnot. Did you guys hear the rumors about those people who live abroad? Yeah, I heard you could pluck money from, like, literally there was money everywhere. I heard so many stories until I came here, and it was completely different. So because of that, a lot of us, when we come to the, abroad, we don't typically go back home because we know what's waiting for us. We know that family members going to rely on us. Everybody and their mama going to rely on us. And what can you do? You can't say no, because you'll be labeled as that person. So that's the story of why it took me so long. So anyways, I finally went home, and I didn't go by myself, y'all. I went with my family, and it was the most exciting. Let me put this away. Exciting, frustrating, fun, anxious, like all the feeling you could think of, I experienced it. So I'm going to break this video down, okay? I'm going to first tell you the details about what it took for me to get there, what happened while I was there, and what happened as we came back. First thing first, getting tickets. Now, after, high school, I'm just like, it's fine, and I was like, I'm gonna go after college, but I didn't go after college until before college, until I graduated college. So I finally graduated. I'm like, you know what? I am going home. But COVID came, because we were supposed to go in 2020. COVID came, lockdown came, so we didn't go. Finally, we went. But here's the thing that before we went, not because of COVID, you have to take all these exams, go through all these. It's so much difficult to travel abroad than it was before. The first thing was a COVID test. Now, some places, they charge you for it, and luckily we're able to get it for free. You can go to Walgreens, you can go to CVS, you can go to, oh my God, I cannot remember. There's one place, but you don't need an appointment, and the line is so long, but I can't remember. But we got our COVID test, but here's what happened, okay? Now, we got our tickets and everything. You can always go online and get tickets, so you know what's up. But we got our COVID test. So here's the thing. The time we left on January 3rd. And what does that mean? It means we have December 31st holiday, January 1st holiday, and most places are also closed January 2nd. But the COVID test, you had to take it 72 hours before you travel. So our journey in going already started with a problem because many places were closed, okay? So me and my smartness, I was like, you know what, mommy, let's take, because we left on a Monday. I was like, let's take on a Thursday, just in case. We have nowhere Friday, nowhere on that, before that Sunday, nowhere Saturday to take it. And because a lot of places need appointments. And the thing about it is people were traveling a lot, meaning, spaces were being occupied a lot. So we took our COVID test on that Thursday. I think it was the 30th, something like that, or the 31st. And I kid you not, the results came out. You ready? All right. When the results came out on the 30th, it said I was COVID positive. Oh yeah, guys, I tested positive. And it says my brother was positive, but it says my mom was negative. Panic attack. Well, not panic attack, but I was panicking. I was like, no, I have to travel. I cannot, no. Because my mind was I could not stay. So I didn't know what to do. But luckily, we were able to get a Friday appointment, right? But a Friday appointment, the COVID test hadn't come yet, but a Thursday test did come. So I went to a different place, and I kid you not, let me tell you what happened. It said my mom was positive, I was negative, my brother was negative. Now remember, the day before we took it, I was positive, my brother was positive, my mom was negative. So now it was the complete reverse. What do we do? What results do we show the airplane? What happened? Because the thing is, you have to do 72 hours. So us taking the test by Thursday, it was very invalid, but I did it because I didn't know anywhere else would be open. So it was invalid, couldn't use that result. And I'm here panicking. Oh my God, we can't travel. We can't travel because we have COVID apparently. No symptoms. And, and I understand because some people didn't have symptoms yet. They were tested positive. So it was like, so my friend who works at this testing center, right? Guys, I told you it's an experience, okay? So get ready. Woo! It's a lot. So what happened, right? So finally, I kept searching, trying to find a place that was open so we can take a test, so we can take our COVID test. The place we had taken the COVID test on that Friday, which was, it was good, but the results wasn't what we needed because we can't travel because it's positive, right? Was closed on Sunday. Oh my God, another panic. Literally, I didn't know what to do, but I kept searching and finally we found CVS. Oh, thank you, CVS. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. They were open. I was able to book us an appointment. We went in and it came and the results showed all of us, guess what? Negative on that Sunday. And I don't know, I'm not here to advocate for COVID tests or to say no to COVID tests. But I don't know if the results was happening, because it was very weird. It was extremely weird. And I don't know if it was a test, but thank God, it came negative. So on that Sunday, everybody's happy. So I'm printing all the papers out. I'm super excited. And at this time, by the way, I was so scared to tell my mom because I know she was going to panic. I know how she is. But it came negative, so we were all good. So next, what do? If you travel to Sierra Leone, before you could travel without, doing anything. But now you have to go to a certain website. And I'm going to post that in the comment section, in the description section. You have to go to a certain website, and then you have to fill out that application. You got to, your destination, where you're going, emergency numbers, put in your COVID results, and then you have to schedule a COVID appointment when you get to the airport itself. So that COVID appointment costs 800,000 leones, which is about, I know it sounds a lot, but it's about $70 to $80-ish, around there. So you have to do that. And then here's the thing, on it literally it says, if you're unvaccinated, you will be quarantined 24 to 48 hours. And I'm not going to go into detail, let you guys know the status of my, my family status and whatnot. So that's not really important. But just so you know, that they will hold you back, okay? If you're not fully vaccinated, it will hold you back. That's it. So finally, we fill the stuff, and I print, because look, at this time, I was going crazy. I printed everything out, made copies of passports, IDs, I was going overboard. And I believe that you have to be overly prepared than to be underprepared, okay? The day to leave, and I kid you not, it was one of the most frustrating time of my life. The most. And why is that? Because of my mom. Now, for those of you that know me, I love family. I love my mom. She is my boo-boo, my best friend. And I always tell people, you have that stage where it's mother and daughter. Then you have that stage where it's friendship. And I believe we're more friends. Love her to death. But she got on my nerves. I don't know how else to say it, but she really did. So what happened? I believe, so our plane's supposed to leave at 8:40 p.m. And I was like, guys, we have to leave the house at 4 p.m. exact, because we live about 30 minutes from the airport, 30 minutes. Leave the house at 4 to be there enough time. Or if we can even be there at 4, it's completely fine. The reason why I was thinking that was because, like I said, traveling during COVID is not the same as traveling when everything was normal, okay? It's not the same. The lines are longer. The protocols are even more. So I didn't know what to expect. So I wanted to make sure that no matter what happened, when we got to the airport, we were good. My mom was like, oh, you don't have to worry about it. When so-and-so was traveling, they didn't do this. And I'm like, Mommy, when did they travel? Before COVID. Come on. It was crazy. And on that day, our smartness, because we were supposed to go do our nails on that Saturday. But remember, guys, New Year's Day fell on Saturday. So everywhere, most places were closed. We couldn't do our nails. It's no problem. So we tried to do it on Sunday. But some businesses decided weren't going to open as well. So we did it on Monday. But we had so many errands to do on that Monday. But we still ended up doing our nails. And we didn't get home till past 4. I'm panicking. We haven't eaten yet. We haven't taken a shower. And we got home at 4. So of course, because of that, everybody had to rush, pack your suitcase, whatever. We didn't eat. I didn't eat at all. And to make it worse, this is what my mom does. She calls Kroger pharmacy, right, to get a prescription. And they're like, no, your medicine's not going to be here till so time and whatnot. So she couldn't get those meds. But then Kroger had the nerves to call my mom and say, hey, by the way, we have this prescription for you that's ready to pick up. When we were about to leave, it's 5 o'clock, something like that. When we're about to leave, I'm like, Mommy, please, you know what? No problem. Let me go to the Kroger. Let me go get your medicine for you. And I'm going to take it I'll meet you at the airport because we took 2 different cars. I got to Kroger and the line is long. It goes all the way down the aisle. I'm panicking because we have 3, and boarding stops about 20 minutes or so, check-in stops about 20 minutes or so before boarding. I'm panicking, and this lady is just like, I need my medicine. I'm like, dude, if they had not called you, you wouldn't have known a medicine was, there was a medicine for you. You don't understand, blah, 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 blah. I was like, you know what? It's cool. So we go to Kroger, wasn't there. And I was like, Mommy, I can't pick it up. The line's too long. Did you know this lady went behind me and went to Kroger? By now, it's like 5:30. Where are you? I'm in line. Can you please let it go, Mom? Let's go. We can't miss our flight. No, I can't leave without it. I was like, cool, no problem. So this is what I did. I went to Kroger, and then my suitcase was in the other car, and hers was in mine. Switched everything, gave her her documents. I was like, Mommy, my brother and I will see you in Sierra Leone. Goodbye. So, of course, we're driving and whatnot, and I got to the airport, and I'm like so sad because of what just happened. And, you know, no matter how much you argue with your parents, there's still that side of you that just craves for them, that side of you that yearns for them, right? And I was like, oh, I can't leave without my mother. So we stayed at the airport. We waited for her. By the grace of God, this lady walks in right as, you know, and I was so thankful. But when we got to that airport, I started crying. I was crying because I was going to miss my family here, but also because I was going back to a place I left behind, not knowing what to expect after so many years. Well, finally checked in, and for somehow a plane got delayed, right? But I was super mad. My mom knew I was upset, and of course, you know, she spoke to me. She didn't really apologize. We just got over it. That's how we are sometimes. Sometimes we do apologize. We just got over it, and we were cool. So we got in the plane, and we had a connecting flight to Paris, okay? So we go to Paris, guys. Yes, and I'm super excited. I'm going to show you some pictures. Don't worry. And it wasn't as cold as I thought it was. And this is January. My mom was like, bring a heavy coat. It's going to be super cold. I brought my coat for absolutely nothing. I had this big old trench coat. Hats, gloves, boots, the whole. Ended up not using any of them. But that's okay. So we go to Paris. And our flights get delayed. So we're there for hours, you know, in Paris. But we're excited, super, you know, pumped and whatnot. And then finally, we get to Paris, you know, get on the plane, and we land in Freetown. And the moment I landed, this wave of emotions, man, I hope I don't cry as I'm doing this video. I really hope I don't cry. I wanted to kiss the ground, but it was late, guys. We got there late because our plane got delayed. Super duper late. And I just felt home. I felt so much at peace. And I'm looking at my younger brother. I'm like, are you excited? You know, he's never been on a plane before, number one. He's never been to Freetown before. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know. You know, he's walking so cool and whatnot. And I'll show you the videos as I'm talking. He didn't know what to expect anything, but we were so pumped. And we got through the security check very easy, guys. It was straight, you know, it wasn't hard at all, very easy. But I did not realize how hot it was. Now, I hear about the heat all the time. Remember, I came here when I was younger, so I forgot everything. I hear about the heat all the time. But it's a difference when you hear something and when you experience something. Let me tell you, if I could have removed my clothes, I would have. I was sweating. And I'm the type that don't really sweat. Like, anyone that knows me, I don't sweat. Usually, because I have oily skin, my skin will just shine, right? I don't sweat. But boy, baby, my armpits, my back, my front, everything was literally sweating. I was drenched. It was so crazy. I was sweating so bad that I literally had to change and wear a t-shirt and leggings. That's how bad it was. Because I was like, I can't do this. I cannot. And then we got there for the bags to pick up our luggage. It took us another 3 hours just to get our luggage. Yes, 3 hours. I don't know what happened. Because there's only two flights that went there, Air Brussels and Air France. So we took Air France. 3 hours just to get our luggage. The airport, unfortunately, is so small. So small. So it has like 2 baggage, you know, the thing that circulates with your bag and stuff. 2 of those things. It took us 3 hours, and everybody's literally on top of each other. Like, there's no personal space. There's no like, oh, there's COVID. I'm like, thank you, Jesus, that COVID did not, you know, the way how it came to the U.S. and other places, it did not go to Africa. Like, a thank you, Lord, because that would have been the easiest place to get it. Seriously, because we were all on top of each other. But when I got there, just to hear, it started from the airport in France when we transitioned just to come, you know, go back. Just to hear all the Sierra Leoneans speaking Creole, just to hear the family, the names. There's so many FAs. It's crazy. But just to hear all the names being called, just to hear the language being spoken, I was just so in awe. My heart, it felt so good to be in a place with so many of us, so many of me, where I felt like I didn't have to put on this accent. I didn't have to pretend. I didn't have to, fight for feeling like I belonged. It was so natural. And it was one of the best experience. And I encourage anyone here, if you can travel home, go. Trust me. So amazing. It has its ups and downs, but it's super amazing. So finally we get our bags, right? And each of us have 3 bags. So there's 9 bags in total. And I was like, you know what? While we're waiting on the other bags, I'm going to go find whoever came for us. And it was my uncle that came for us. So my uncle came for us. He didn't even recognize me. He was just like, and I'm like, hey, Unc, it's me. Like, I called his name. I was like, it's me. He's like, I didn't recognize you, your face back. But I recognized him because, I see pictures, we talk. And of course, I could tell the eyes. And he looks just like my grandma. So it was very easy for me to recognize him. But it was just, you know what I mean? Like, that feeling, so amazing. But after 3 hours, we finally get our bags. And of course, you had to go take the COVID test at the airport. You cannot leave without taking an COVID test, and you have to have negative. And like I said, if you're unvaccinated, they will quarantine you for 48 hours, okay? So that happened. We finally got home, and we were fighting to get to the ferry because there's 2 ways to go around the airport. You can either take the ferry to take you back to the mainland, or you can take the road, but the road may take a little bit longer. So the last ferry leaves at midnight. We're supposed to leave at midnight. And mind you, we're here for a long time. We landed at 10 o'clock. We're leaving 3 hours later, so you do the math, okay? So our driver who came was driving. Oh my God. I was holding onto my seatbelt, holding my mom's hand. My brother's whispering in my ears, Effie, can you please tell the driver to slow down? I'm just like, I don't know this guy. I can't. Like, we were it was crazy. Driving super fast, but by God's grace, we made it alive in one piece. We got into the ferry, and I got a chance to go up and see the lights, see the water. And it was just so amazing to see everybody. And we got to the place where we were at like 4 a.m.-ish. We got there, super hot. So hot, but I'm so exhausted. Couldn't really sleep that night because there was no lights. Yeah, I'm going to tell you about that. No lights, no nothing. But, we got in, we settled. All our luggages, we just placed it there. Excuse me. I don't even remember if we took a shower that night because it was just too much, and went to bed. Yeah. Next day, so I wake up, right? We woke up in the morning, finally got to see everybody, face, not as light because of the sun. And it was just me being home. I never thought I would feel what I felt just being home. Honestly, I knew I was excited. I knew I was also anxious. I knew, of course, there's a difference when you talk to somebody all the time versus you seeing them. Completely 2 different things. So I was got to see, those that were there. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And during my time there, I'm not going to go into details day by day, because then we'll never end this video. I know you want to hear the rest, but it is what it is, right? We got to see the town. I walked so much, and it was amazing. And I just can't describe anything, how I felt. But we were there for 2 days. Then we had to travel upline to Kailao, one of the district cities. We had to travel there. Why? Because my auntie lived there. My second mom, she lived there. So I went to go see her. Completely different versus Freetown. Freetown is so choked. Like, literally, there's houses everywhere, people everywhere. Like, the city doesn't even sleep. But up there, it's so quiet. There are trees everywhere. There's cool breeze. And her house where she lived, there was 24/7 lights, water, access to water all the time. So it was completely different for what I experienced. I was like, oh, I could stay here. But then the thing is this, my heart wasn't really there. What I mean by that is, I was used to the city. I love the noise. I love the everybody all up in your face. And over there was like, everybody not up in your face. I could walk on the streets without worrying about being, crushed and whatnot. But I just had to go back to Freetown. So after a week, we went back to Freetown, from Kailao to Freetown. And there, I called my cousin, and we call ourselves our sisters, who's just amazing. Oh my God. Honestly, here's the thing. Sometimes those of us who are here, we're very suspicious of certain people back home, right? We're very suspicious of careful not to get too close to people, careful not to whatever, because you don't know And with all due respect, I don't say this to be rude or whatever, but sometimes we don't know what to expect from people. We don't know what they want from us. Our mentality is every time people talk to you, like asking for money, asking for support, this and this and this and this. So it's hard to kind of get used to people. But I have a cousin who I love her. And I'm going to show you our pictures here. And she and I grew up together. You know, did everything together. I remember we would dance and wear overalls and dance in the family house. And when I came here, we lost touch for a long time. I mean, according to her mom, we talked when I was younger. I used to call them. I don't remember any of that. But we lost touch after a while until I found her on Facebook again. I'm like, hey, are you so and so? She's like, yeah. And we was like, you know. And we started talking and stuff. But it wasn't the same as back then. I felt it, but it wasn't, you know, we're still getting used to each other. Because we knew each other as children. Now we're adults in our 20s. So finally, when I went and I called her, I didn't by the way, while I was going, nobody knew. I didn't tell nobody I was coming except those who were at the airport, who were in the house where we were going. They didn't tell nobody I was even leaving from the US. No, just certain people. I call her up. I'm like, hey, there's somebody who's coming to so-and-so address. I need you to go see them. On your way, make sure you bring a toothbrush. Make sure you bring toothpaste, you know, whatever you need to spend a couple of nights. Can you believe, guys, seriously, this girl did not ask me a single question. She didn't ask FAY, who am I going to go see? How long will I stay? Or even, where's the money, transportation money? All she said was, okay. And I was super shocked. And I was like, whoa, she's not going to ask me anything? So when she got there, I had left with my auntie to go to the market, the local market. And I see her and she could not believe it. And I could not believe it. We just embraced each other. And as I'm talking, like, that's my heart. She's my love, my heartbeat. Oh my gosh, she made my stay so enjoyable. Can you believe let me tell you what she did, okay? I'm not to brag about my sis, just a little bit, okay? This girl left everything she was doing and stayed with me throughout the whole month. I'm talking about everything. Left her house, left, you know, whatever it was she was doing. Didn't ask a single question just to be with this person. And throughout the whole time, she knew my temperaments. She knew my feelings. She understood me. It's like, I couldn't explain. It's like a missing puzzle. Like, you know, when you have a puzzle and then you put it together, like that missing part, and it's like, it fits so perfectly. And that's how we were. And it just taught me a big lesson. The first thing was this. I know sometimes, and it's not everybody who's like her, trust me, okay? I know sometimes we get so, I don't want to get close to certain people because of what they want from me. You know, I know there are people like that, but sometimes complete opposite. Can you believe while we were traveling and we would go places, this girl would literally pay for transportation. Like at that time, I hadn't changed my money yet. You know, a few days in, I was waiting for my mom, and she's been there before, so she was in charge of the entire schedule. So I was waiting on her move before I decided. I hadn't changed my money yet, hadn't done anything. You know, my phone, you know, by the way, they give you a SIM card at the airport, just so you know, free SIM card at the airport. So, you know, but it took a minute for me to get used to all of that, and she paid for transportation. Whenever she would go out to school for classes, she would bring me gifts. It was just I don't know how to thank her. I don't know how much. And not only that, in the house itself, I made such amazing friends who lived in the house. Except one, where I made two amazing friends. Yes, it's three, but I'm going to spend two first. Two amazing friends in the house. And the way we met was kind of a little interesting. Because at first, I was like, you know, I had my own thoughts going. I'm not going to lie. I had my own bias. I had my own stuff because I didn't know what to expect. I was very to myself, apart from the ones that I went with and my family who I used to talk to often. I was very to myself. But the next week, the second week was when I really, you know, I flew and got used to the guys that were there. Super supportive. They took me everywhere. Just, man, I can't explain. And we all made such a great bond. And then one of them did not live in the house. And this child, he is so funny. Let me tell you what he did. This guy has his own place where he has water, he has fan, he has lights, he has all these stuff, but will leave his place, spend the nights in our house where literally he's getting bitten with mosquito all the time, We are literally, because it was so hot at times, we will sleep in the parlor, like in the living room. And I'm just like, dude, what is wrong with you? Go home. And he will come back early in the morning, whenever, because he will leave like at 6 to go pray. And then he will come back. And when he comes, he will go and help get water. It was just, I made amazing friends. And I pray there's a lifelong friendship, because it was just super amazing. They took me everywhere. We walked, like oh my God. I cannot explain to you how amazing it was. And my trip going back, first of all, I didn't really have an agenda. I mean, I had three things I was going for. 3 things, but I wasn't in a rush to do anything. My thing was just to observe, to see, to experience. And that is exactly what happened. Hi there. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this amazing video right here on Moments with FA. I know, me too. I wish this conversation can go on, but that's okay, because guess what? There's more to this conversation. You're going to get the full gist of things, I promise. Now, before you go, make sure you press the subscribe button if you've yet to press it. Your notification bell is turned on, because there's more, and you don't want to miss the next part. You don't want to miss it at all. Until next time, thanks for watching Moments with FA, where we talk about love, life, and God. God bless you.